Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today I'm going to be talking about a game which I hope to bring to the channel eventually and make it sort of a new staple of the channel alongside other games such as Rule the Waves, Cold Waters, Ultimate General, those game series. But it's a game and a type of game that I really haven't looked at much in the past. Some of you may have already recognized the screen in front of you as a German Bf-109, specifically the F4 version of the aircraft. And that's because I am playing the game IL-2 Sturmovik, or IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad. IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad is a game that came out in 2014 and is the newest sort of core game in the IL-2 franchise. There was previous to this, there was IL-2 Cliffs of Dover, which looked at the Battle of Britain, IL-2 1946, which I know several of folks that I kind of talk and play with a lot sort of view that as the holy grail of the old-timey classics IL-2 games. But at the end of the day, IL-2 is a 2014 game, which is a flight simulation. So I really haven't done a flight simulation on this channel before. I think I did a little bit of Battle of Britain 2, sort of that old classic game with the dynamic campaign at the Battle of Britain. But long story short, long-winded way of me saying that 1C Company was gracious enough to give me a key to Battle of Stalingrad. They also gave me a key to the Battle of Kuban, which is the newest expansion for Stalingrad. And I want to play this on the channel somewhat. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to weave the content in. I may do some historical discussions about aircraft, about the battles, about various characters. I really want to learn more about the Russian front as well. I know I've got some plans in the works for some War in the East stuff, which hasn't come to fruition yet, but I have no doubt will do so eventually. But I do want to weave some Battle of Stalingrad into the channel. Now, I do warn you, I'm not a flight sim savant. I am someone who played a fair bit of Falcon 4.0 way back in the day, but did so with the equivalent of a Logitech 3D Extreme Pro, you know, just sort of a basic joystick, no rudders, no throttle, nothing like that, other than the built-in one on the joystick, which is kind of laughable. I'm someone who relied heavily on the autopilot in that game and sort of easier difficulty settings in that game. So I'm not a simmer by any means, and I don't think I will end up covering DCS. I don't know. This is really my first foray into more hardcore simming. I used to play a fair bit of USAF by Janes, which was, you know, more of a, all right, press 1 through 9 for your throttle or whatever. You know, more or less a casual flight sim. Realistic flight ballistics, things like that. Realistic mission parameters. We're not talking ace combat, but we are talking a relatively approachable game. This is a little bit different. IL-2 is a little bit different. You can see me kind of stumbling around here as I try and learn, you know, try to figure out how to taxi. This video is my first ever serious attempt to take off. And I want to do a little bit more of this. Now, I know that IL-2 is not to the level of granularity as something like DCS with fully clickable cockpits, but to me, playing something like IL-2 is sort of a step above in terms of flight games than anything that I've played recently. The ability to, you know, the fact that I've got to adjust the horizontal stabilizers, the fact that I've got to do more than just hit F to raise or lower flaps, the fact that I have to close my canopy. Again, these are all things that I haven't really done before in a sim game. So my intent and sort of long-winded way of saying this is that I do intend to bring IL-2 to the channel in one form or another. That's my intent. I'm letting you know that now. I don't know when that content will become more regular. I will say that, you know, because I am very much a flight sim novice, I watched several videos, I took some notes, I learned how, okay, this is theoretically what you're supposed to do to take off with the 109, and and that's what you're witnessing in front of you, but I don't know anything beyond takeoff at this point. I don't know anything about flying, I don't know anything about the right way to play this game, or any flight sim in general. So what you're witnessing here in this sort of haphazard taxing, looping around, is literally my third or fourth attempt. The first two attempts I kind of crashed into things while taxiing. And this is kind of what to expect. There's going to be some growing pains. So while I do intend to bring IL-2 to the channel, I also recognize there will probably be a little bit of a gap between sort of me announcing this and any real significant content. I may take you through some learning curves, some, what it's like to try and pick up this game, but it's not a super approachable game. As far as simulation flight games go, it certainly seems to be more approachable than something like DCS outside of Flaming Cliffs. But anyway, that's enough of me sort of rambling about that. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably bring some IL-2 to the channel. I'd be interested if any of you actually play IL-2, or if any of you can bring some of your experience to bear, some tips, some recommendations, some videos, anything along those lines. I also think it'd be really fun to do some sort of flights with other folks who are watching the channel. I know Tortuga, the YouTuber Tortuga Power, he actually got a copy of IL-2 Stalingrad as well. He played quite a bit of 1946, so he's a little bit more versed in the game than I am, because he has played previous iterations of it. But long-winded way of me saying, I think it would be cool to kind of get a little bit of a squadron going, get some people, flying with, some learning how to play this game. That's a really nice touch to see sort of the flame coming out the bottom of the engine as well. But yeah, so there you have it. That's my intent, to bring this game to the channel, to try and bring a little bit more of a simulation aspect to the channel with it, and see how things go, and see how we play, how I can do with it. It will be painful at times to watch. It may be not the if you're interested in serious IL-2 content from an expert, don't come watch these videos. But hopefully it'll be entertaining, and we can learn something together. With that being said, as I've kind of already said, I'm kind of rambling at this point, that this will be something that doesn't start for a little bit still, but I did want to announce it. In the meantime, on the channel, I would expect to still see a heavy dose of Rule the Waves. I've still got more episodes in my Confederate Let's Play series to go. I would also expect to see a reemergence of some Cold Waters. I'd like to do some historical discussions about historical submarines while trying to play through and actually win the South China Sea campaign. I haven't done that yet, so we'll see how that plays out. In addition to that, frankly, I'm looking, just for some other games to play. I know Battle of Britain, 303 Squadron, Battle of Britain, or something to that effect, recently came out, which is another flight sim which looks at the Polish 303 Squadron during the Battle of Britain, but is less of a sim and more of kind of almost like an RPG, sort of arcadey kind of flight game. Doesn't actually even have joystick support, which caused Tortuga to kind of drop his jaw when he heard that. But I believe that's coming. So we may see some of that. We may see a little bit more Steel Division in the meantime. And I'm not really sure what else to do. I'll admit, I feel like I'm a little bit of a rut, a little bit of a lull at the moment in terms of games that I feel motivated to play. And IL-2 is up there. Again, thanks to the 1C company who provided me this copy for free. In no way is there any sort of insinuation that the content needs to only be positive around this game, but it certainly is beautiful, and I love the attention to detail and the experience so far, the very limited experience that I've had with IL-2 thus far. You can see there I got it off the ground, which is the first time I really seriously tried to take off, so I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I know if you're a flight sim person, or if you're a flight sim snob, you may kind of thumb your nose at me for, hey, it's not DCS. Hornet just came out, by the way, which looks gorgeous, but it's just one of those games that I can't bring myself to kind of get into from a timing perspective. But yeah, anyway, I don't. Yeah. So with that being said, I guess what I'm really looking for, and kind of, I apologize for this just ramblingness of a video. This is somewhat uncut. But what I'm really looking forward to is kind of hearing your guys' thoughts. Is this something you'd like to see? Is this an interesting game to you? Is this something you want to see as like crashing on IO? Is this a game that you'd like to see more of? Is this something that you don't care if the flying content isn't terribly great? Or is this something that you'd rather see me avoid? I'll be playing it in any event. It's just a question of whether I create a lot of content and put it on the channel, or if it's just a couple of videos here or there. I may also bolt it into some live streams, but I hesitate to do any live streams with it until I'm a little bit more fluid with the game. Anyway, guys, I'm just interested in hearing your thoughts and kind of giving you an update on the channel as well, as far as what to expect. I hope you're enjoying the channel as always, and this video also. But until next time, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching. Ouch, and I'm out.